Today is Monday, May 12th, 2025. Small red day for me. I'm at minus 0.7%, which is only about 18 bucks. I was initially going to do 5 moves with my account. I ended up doubling up on a move, so I really only got into about 4 moves. Um, Initially had a good green trade right on the opening bell. Went in for a second move and got out right at the same price, so that was a break-even trade. My third move was where I doubled up, looking for a breakout to a new high, and it was a false breakout. I ended up losing quite a bit there. Lost all of my profit from my first green trade and was red a little bit. And then my fourth trade ended up going green. I spiked a really high volume moving chart. It ended up halting up a couple different times, and I spiked it for just a few cents just to make some of my money back. It was kind of risky, but the pattern was there showing that it was probably going to halt up. So I just got in and out within a few seconds and grabbed a little bit of payback there. Luckily, it worked out for me. If it would have failed, then I would have been very mad at myself because it was somewhat against my grain and kind of a risky move, but it didn't seem risky for the small amount of time I was in. And it ended up making up quite a bit of the red from that false breakout. So it is what it is. I was done trading by 8:45 a.m., which I didn't start trading until the market opened at 8:30. I didn't waste any time. I should have been way more patient. I should have let some setups that I really like to get into develop, and I didn't do any of that. I just rushed into it. I was so excited to get back to trading after a huge green day Friday. Those couple days off make you really get antsy to pull a trigger. At least today it seemed that way. I've had issues committing to trades before, and then today I rushed through all of my moves in the first 15 minutes. So it is what it is. Just note to self: be patient and wait for the development of the patterns that you like to see happen. It's that simple. My first trade of the day came just about 2 minutes after the market opened on FRGT. It had been on the top gainer list. Shortly after market open, it flushed out of the list, and life went on after this initial 15-minute blurb. But I made my move on this second candle of the open market. I got in and out on this same candle. I got in at 186 and out at 193. I had been watching this. This was one of my favorite 2 or 3 stocks of the morning coming into the opening bell. And I was waiting to see what happened at the market open. And this had a great float on it. And I was expecting some good volume on it. And that's what happened. I snuck a nice bit of profit out of this one single candle here. And I got out before it had a chance to flush back down, because I know right on the first few candles of the day, it's oftentimes you can have some total reversals even within the first few minutes. So I grabbed it while it was good and got out with some profit. I felt fine with that. It's not my best setup or anything, but I snuck some profit off the table and moved on with life. My second move came on this red candle here. I got in at 207, expecting to break through to around 225 or so. It developed some heavy sellers at like the 210 mark, 212 mark. It kind of fluctuated with the 212, 213 for a little while, and it didn't want to break through that. So I ended up getting back out in the same candle again at 207, a break-even trade. Life goes on. My third trade, my red trade on the day, came in these 2 candles here. I got in at 211 on this green candle. This candle had been brewing, and we had a huge seller at the 212 mark. I think it was around 35,000 on the ask. That got 8 through, and it went to 215, and it kind of hem-hawed around for a little while. I got in at 211, expecting once that huge seller at 212 got 8 through, that it would at least climb to the 220s, 230s. Well, it didn't. It ended up shitting the bed on me completely. This candle dropped down all the way into the 170s. I was able to get out at 196 after my entry of 211. So that was a total loss of 15 cents a share. I had doubled up my position on this move because I had huge hope that it was going to cross way through the 220s, even flirt with the 250s. MACD was still open. This was a huge spike in green, and then the next candle just completely shit the bed on me. So a false breakout here. I had good intentions, and I really thought it was going to work out. That's why I doubled up on my position. I was watching that level 2, waiting for that to happen, because I wasn't sure if it was going to, and then it just started eating right through it. It wasn't like the order just disappeared like you'll see sometimes. It just chewed through, and it spiked all the way up to 215. There had to have been some sort of secret sellers here, because the level 2 wasn't showing anything for 215, and this was I guess a triple top at this point if you want to count this topping wick here. Clearly resistance now, looking back at it, and again it even came up one more time before this chart just completely went back down to nothing for the day. My final trade of the day came on YHC. This stock had already halted up once during the market open, and I knew I needed to snipe a few cents somewhere just to make back some of the loss I had from that big false breakout I got in on. This was kind of a risky setup. I mean, I guess it's not crazy risky, but I hadn't been watching this chart much. I wasn't sure the ebb and flow on it for the day. I just knew that it had crazy volume, and it was a huge upward swing. I got in and out on this green candle here. I made 9 cents worth of profit. I could have hung around. It continued climbing, but I wasn't sure of the halt levels, and it had already halted once, and I know it halted 2 or 3 more times throughout this initial climb. And then it again started halting down after that first front side move. So I sniped it. I was only in the trade for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, just enough to let the spread kind of tighten up so I didn't totally lose my ass on a random spread. But that was it. Kind of a risky move if you want to think of it that way. It's not my typical go-to setup, but I grabbed a few cents just to make up some of that red from my false breakout and move on for the day. It turned out okay for me. I don't want to continue doing that. It's not a great habit to get into, but I did it today and life went on. It worked out well.